Okay, so welcome back. So this is our problem we have. This is our agenda for today. And one thing I also want to make sure that we talk about is if you need a T-table or a formula sheet, the magic formula sheet, I have those. I have hard copies. I can mail them to you, or you can pick them up in front of my front door. Step either one. Just let me know. Just give me your email right away, because I have them already ready to mail out. Just give me your address, and then I'll drop it in the mail to you. If you need a TI calculator or a webcam or a computer, I think even a laptop, the school has some of those they can loan out. So just let me know, and I can try to get those set up so you can pick those up at the school library. All right. So at any rate, we are back to quiz 9.4, what we're doing today. And then we're going to finish up that last problem in 9.4, which we kind of started last class, but we'll finish that up. And then we're going to review chapters 7 through 9 a little bit. You have Connect Math 9.3 due today, and then Sunday you have 9.4 due. And then next Thursday after the exam, if you didn't do Lab 5 yet, you can turn it in late for full credit. I need your Excel spreadsheet or a link to your Google Sheets, and then I need you to email me pictures of the last 2 pages of the handouts, because those you have to fill out by hand. Exam 3 is next Tuesday. It will be, you will not Zoom in, instead you will go into Canvas, into your quizzes, and there'll be a little exam 1 that you take there instead. Our review session will be Monday, April 20th from 3 to 4:30, and from 6:30 to 8 on Zoom. There's the link. It's just my regular office hour spot, so that's nothing unusual. All right. Again, like I said, if you need a T-table or a magic formula sheet, email me and I can mail them to you, or you can pick them up at my house. It's there 24/7 in the white box. You can come anytime you want, and just take the whole packet. I have a ton of sheets. Just take the whole thing. It's just easier that way. And then if you need a TI calculator webcam, you need your LPC student ID card. But then you can just pick them up from the library. Just let me know so I can set up the checkout time, because we have to schedule that, or else they won't have them there for you. If you don't have an ID, then let me know and you can get one from me with a deposit. So we talk about that. And if none of those options work, then email me. But we definitely want to talk about that. All right.
How long do we have till we have to email you for the calculator? Is that a coming up deadline?
Well, in time for you to get one from me. Is this Sterling? Or is it somebody else?
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. So do you have a student ID card?
Yep.
Yeah. So then you can pick that up from the library for the rest of the semester. Just let me know what time works for you.
I can do that myself. I can go to campus.
Yeah. Yeah. And pick one up from the library. But I have to schedule it. So you have to tell me when you want to pick it up. And do you want to pick it up Friday or do you want to pick it up on Monday? Let's talk about it later.
Okay.
Why don't you and I talk about it during the next, during the break or when you guys are working on something. Okay. So, actually, Sterling, why don't you go ahead and read this exam 3 part? Go ahead. Thanks.
You must take it at 2 p.m., 5 p.m., or 7:30 p.m. on April 21st, but it must be at one of those times. Let me know if you are taking it at a different time than your class. Do the practice test for 1 exam point in Canvas under quizzes, which must be done in the Chrome browser. You also need a webcam. If you do not have a webcam, email me for the alternative test and what time you want to do it so you can Zoom on your phone with me. You must take this practice exam before April 21st. If you do not, and then cannot get Proctorio working correctly, then you will have to take a 0 on the exam. If using laptop webcam, create a platform, use books.
Right, and we'll talk about these things in a second. So the first thing is the practice exam. So it's in Canvas. If you go to Canvas and there's a little quizzes spot down here, it'll bring up this. Just where it says Test of Proctorio Remotely Proctored, that's the one that you need to take This one won't show up here unless you don't have a webcam and I assign it to you. So this one you have to take it, and then you'll have like 5 minutes to get your camera set up, and then you'll have 20 minutes to write down the sentence, and then end that quiz. And then you need to upload your results upload results of test to Proctorio. So this one doesn't use Proctorio, it's just you're uploading. You have to take a picture of your sheet and upload that with your phone. You can just go onto Canvas with your phone and upload it from your phone if you want. That's no problem. This one does not use Proctorio, it's just the uploading part of it. So yours will say, on Tuesday, will say, Exam 1, remotely proctored. And then down below here, it'll say, upload results of Exam 1. So then after you take your Exam 1, you'll go down here and you'll just upload them. You'll use this just to upload those results. That way you don't have a time limit on it like the first part does. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a little bit of extra time to do this. It should be, well, so first of all, make sure you do this practice exam, that test of Proctorio, do it by Monday, right? Do it before the April 21st. It's worth 1 point of your exam. Your exam's 100 points, so this will be 1 point for this, and then 99 points will be the rest of the points on Tuesday. If you don't have a webcam, email me so we can set it up, because you're going to use your phone and you're going to Zoom with me on your phone instead. Okay, and then like I said before, like Sterling said, you have to take it at 2 o'clock, 5 o'clock, or 7:30 on Tuesday. It has to be one of those times. And you have to email me if you're going to take it at a different time in your class, because I have to put you into that Canvas course and add you to that class so you can take it at that time. All right, and then there's using the webcam thing. We'll talk about that in a minute. Let me go ahead and do this first. Actually, we'll do that next. So the way I would suggest you guys do this is that you move your computer back from you a little bit. So you have like at least 18 inches or something like that, kind of a working surface. And then you can put the camera downward a little bit, just a little bit, not even that much. So you can still see your screen, and still read it, but it's tilted slightly downwards. And then if you grab a couple of like chunky books, like 1.5 inch thick books, or binders, or anything that's 1.5 inch thick, you can put those down in front of you and create kind of a working space. So then when you're working, here we go. Okay. When you're working on something, then I can see your hands. I don't need to see I don't need to see your papers or anything else. I just need to be able to see your hands. That way I know if you're using your cell phone or doing something you shouldn't be doing. And then also if you grab something from off screen, just don't be moving around over here. Just grab it, put it over here, look at it here, right, and then put it back over there, or whatever. But you don't be messing around for a long time. Just grab it, bring it here, and do your stuff here. And like I said, I don't really need to see. I need to see like basically like just the tops of your hands, so I kind of have an idea of where your hands are, because your hands aren't going to be disembodied from. It's not going to be like you're going to have this, and your hands are going to be like over there doing something. They're attached to the rest of you. So as long as I can kind of see just the kind of where you're at, then I know that we're all good. Okay, questions about that? Hopefully not. Okay. Good. The other thing that you can do is if you are like, this totally has screwed me and I'm not going to do well, and I was getting an A before and now I'm going to end up just totally getting this bad grade, you can keep your grade you have so far and just retake it in the fall. So you can keep your exam 1 grade, you can keep all your homeworks, all your project grades, and then just retake with me in the fall. Then you can skip this first 6 weeks, and it's coming after that, starting with chapter 5. So it'll be either week 7 or week 8. You'll start in with chapter 5, and then review 5 and 6 a little bit, take your exam 2, and then kind of pop in when you can't, come in, like I would say, at least every other day for parts 7, 8, 9 to kind of make sure you get those down, and then you take exam 3. So, that's another option for you guys if you need it. Extra credit, come to my online Zoom office hours to show me your complete quizzes. So, I think, Sarai, you had a question about this, right? How do you show them to me? Just show me them, right? So just come to my office hours, and then you can kind of hold up on the screen. You can kind of flip through your sheets and show them all to me. If you happen to be someone who's doing them on a board, on a PDF, and you're writing them on your computer screen instead on a tablet, then you can just email me those. That's okay instead. But if you have them on paper, just come to my office hours, and you can kind of hold them up to the camera one by one and show me, and we'll get you the extra credit for that, for your 7, 8, 9 notes and quizzes, and then also for your 3, 5, and 6 notes and quizzes. You can do that because that's going to be for exams too. So you can do them both at the same time if you want. Just do them by the end of next week. I have office hours Monday, Tuesday. Well, Monday won't work because we're doing review sessions, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Canvas, also I put in all the updated information about your W forms and PNP forms and how to get to my house if you need to pick up stuff. So feel free to grab those, right? So schedule the handouts, the links to Zoom lectures. So this will tell you what handouts you need for each class. If you want to say, well, what handouts do I need today? Go there. That will tell you ahead of time which ones you need from here to the end of the semester. Links to your to my Zoom lectures and office hours, forms you need, exam information, other notes and things to print out, and then links to all the videos for all our lectures. So the video links to lectures are down in there too. So you can go anywhere, any of those spots for those. Good. Let's get, Rob, go ahead and read this one. Rob? Ria?
1 second. Where do you want me to start from?
From the beginning, from right here?
Okay. Exam 3 will cover chapter 7, 8, and 9. The study guide is in Canvas under study guide. You will also need your T-table, magic formula sheet, half page, and handwritten notes, and 6 blank papers with your class time, initials, and the number written on the top. If you are taking the exam at a different time, please write that. Also, example followed by class pick at 2. Once you start the exam, you will have 5 minutes to scan the area in front of you and get your camera position so that it shows your hand. If using a webcam attached to your computer, I suggest maybe making a raised working area by putting a couple lines down.
Yep. Or you can use anything that will raise it up. You can use magazines, stacks of magazines, stacks of newspapers, boxes, games. If you have games, right, you can get Monopoly. That would work too. That's not a very good idea. Monopoly would totally work. Something like that. Something you can write on. So Monopoly, as long as it's sturdy enough for you to write on. Okay, good. So let's go ahead. Any questions about any of those things before we move on? You will What was that?
Is the line paper okay, or is
yeah,
like
that's okay. Line paper's okay. Yeah, that should scan okay. And just make sure that you put your, like I said, your class time, you figure out to be 7:30, and then your initials and then your W number across the top of all 6 of those sheets. I need 6 of them. And you're also going to need, like I said, you definitely have to have your T-table on paper, your magic formula sheet on paper, and your half-page of written notes, obviously on paper. And then you're going to need a calculator as well. All right, let's go and take a look at Chapter 9.4, Dependent Samples. Right, so this is matched pairs. So it's when you have 2 sets of samples, 2 samples and their means, but they're matched up. So these guys go together, these guys go together, these guys go together. They're the same. They're grouped. So this one can't go with this guy over here. He has to go with the one directly next to him or below him. So what you're going to do, it's really, really simple. All you do is you subtract them, right? You take the top one, subtract the bottom one, and then you're going to, these are your, what we call our little differences, our small differences. You just run a 1 sample t-test on these differences. So it's just like it's 1 sample instead of having 2 samples. You make them, you take these 2 samples and you make them into 1 sample by subtracting them. So these are just, this is just a sample of the differences between them, right? So you only care about these, and you no longer care about these ones up here. These ones up here, we're never going to use them again. It's almost like you can cross them out because we only care about these numbers here now. There's some notation. Little d, those are the differences between each of those values, right? So for each kind of specimen, right, you take the top one and subtract the bottom one. That's one of your d's. So all those little differences you pick up, those are your d's. Mu d would be the population mean. If you knew all of those d's out there in the world and you could average them, that would be your population mean. X bar d, so they call it d bar. It's also, you can also think of it as x bar d, is your sample mean. In other words, if you take all those little d's that we got from this sample and average them, that's what is going to be your x bar d. So from this sample that we give you, find all the differences. Their average is this d bar or x bar d. You can call it either one. They're the same thing. And then they also have a standard deviation, SD, and then the number of them. How many of them do you have? How many pairs did you have? The other thing that you're going to do is you're going to use this one here. So this is, if you kind of look back at our sheet here, if it's two regular samples that are different from each other, you're going to use this one here, right, if they're independent. But this one, because they're dependent, you're going to use this top one here. You're going to subtract them, and you only have one sample. So you're going to treat it like one sample. So we're going to use this one right up here, x bar minus mu over s divided by square root of n. So that's what we're doing. Our x bar d, and that was our d bar, from our sample, minus our mu. Remember, this is always from our claim, so in this case it's 0. It's 0 always for Chapter 9, but only for Chapter 9, not for Chapter 8. Only when you have two samples is this number here 0. The differences. And then divided by s over square root of n. All right, so do you guys need more time to work on this quiz problem, or are you guys kind of done? Where are you guys at? You guys are done?
Hey, I think we got it.
Okay, everybody good? All right, so we'll go ahead and go over it. So our claim is that, let's see, we want to know if we conclude that the average for the banks was less 3 years ago than it is today. In other words, the top one is less than today. The top one is less than the bottom one. So that means that the top one is less than the bottom one. We're going to look at a less than. In this case, when you subtract them, mu1 minus mu2, if I subtract them, am I going to get something less than 0? That's my question, right? So here my claim is that if I subtract them, the top one minus the bottom one, I'm going to get something less than 0, because the bottom one should be smaller than the top one, so it should be negative when I subtract them, something less than 0. So my claim is that the top one's less than the bottom one. In other words, mu1 minus mu2 is going to be less than 0. You can also call it mu d. So mu d is less than 0 is my claim. So my first step is h naught is mu d is equal to 0, right? Because h naught is always equals. My claim is less than, so that becomes my claim becomes h1. Mu d is less than 0. Because remember, mu d is always mu1 minus mu2. You could have flipped them the other way if you were like one of my other students. They decided they were going to do, well, this one's less than that one, then we're going to say that today is greater than yesterday. So they did a right-tailed, so they made it greater than 0. But that means you have to take the bottom one and subtract the top one if you're going to do that. It's fine, you can do that. But remember, if you're going to say greater than because today is greater than yesterday, then you have to take the top one and subtract, the bottom one and subtract the top one. That'd be the change. All right, so then we're going to put all of these into our calculator, the top one into list 1, the bottom one into list 2, and then we're going to do, right, and then you did, you went to L1 and you did second L1 minus second L2, and then you did stat calc 1 bar stats on list 3, and then you got your X bar and your S from there. So you should have an X bar of negative 1.081 and S of 1.937. All right, and then you find your critical value. So our critical value, we have 9 items. Their means, so we care about degrees of freedom. Degrees of freedom is going to be 8. It's 9 minus 1, and it's less than, so it's left-tailed. Right, we know this is less than, so less than means left-tailed. One-tailed, so I'm going to go to my handy-dandy t-table, and what's my alpha one-tailed test, 0.05, and I want degrees of freedom 8, so I'm going to use this row, this column, 1.860. So 1.860, but it's going to be negative because left-tailed, my critical value is going to be negative anytime that it's left-tailed. It's going to be on the left side. Then you're going to find your test stat. Your x bar d, so x bar d, negative 1.081 minus our mu d from our claim. Our mu d is always going to be 0, right? Whatever our claim is, that's 0, divided by s 1.937 over square root of n. There's 9 of them, so 9, and you get negative 1.675. So you're going to put in your test stat here, 1.675. That's completely in the do not reject region, right? This is the not innocent, but the not guilty, not enough evidence region. So if it's, we did not have enough evidence, so we do not reject H naught. We did not have enough evidence. Right? Again, remember, these are both, if this one says not, this one also has to say not. Not reject H naught, not enough evidence. 2, support, because my claim was less than. My claim was H1, so I'm going to use the word support here. Whenever H1 is my claim, I use the word support. Claim that banks made less 3 years ago. So there it is. There's that one. Any questions about this one? If you have a question, you can hang out with me for a second afterwards once I send you guys off to your groups in a minute, or you can ask your group about it as well. So now what we're going to look at is the last problem. So we did this last class, but someone pointed out last class that, hey, look, why can't we do, are we going to be able to do one that is where H naught is our claim? So I'm going to change lab problem 6. I know you guys did it already, but we're just going to make a couple of small changes, which are only going to change actually like 3 parts of this. You can kind of just make these changes to this and see where it adjusts things. It'll change your hypotheses. It'll change your claim, and because it changes your claim, it will change your summary of the results. That's all it's going to change. It's just steps 1 and 5. But you'll see where it says, on your sheet it says cholesterol level will change. Make that remains the same. Cross that out and put it remains the same. Which means later on, when it says at the very bottom line, can be clear that the cholesterol level has been changed, again, make that remains the same. And then go ahead and do this again. Everything else will stay the same except for, like I said, your claim in step 1, which one's your claim that will change, and then your results will change as well, to summarize the results, step 5. So I'm going to send you guys off to your groups to work on this. I think you guys are probably only going to need another maybe 7 minutes since you've already done this a little bit last class. You started on it last class, but I'll go ahead and send you off and get you started on this one. And again, if you have any questions, just stick around and ask me.